crowd buzzes as Cupid Child steps in, and nobody out and base is empty. George Haddock nods at the sign. Cupid Childs is out. Here comes Jake Virtue to the plate. One away, and base is empty. George Haddock looks in for the signal. Right up the middle, Jake Virtue collects a base hit. Here comes Jesse Burkett to the plate. One away and runner on first. George Haddock looks in for the signal. Base hit. Jesse Burkett singles safely. Chief Zimmer digs in against George Haddock. One away, runners on first and third. Grounder, second baseman to first. Nothing doing for the Cleveland Spiders that inning. No runs in the top of the first. Your scoreboard reads Cleveland Spiders 0, Brooklyn Grooms 0. Dan Bruthers approaches the plate with purpose. Nobody out. Base is empty. Cy Young winds up. Up next, Oyster Burns. Nobody out and runner on first. Cy Young toes the rubber. Oyster Burns safe at first. Mike Griffin adjusts his cap and digs in. One away, runner on first. Here we go. Now stepping in, Tom Daly. One away, runners on first and second. Cy Young gets the sign. Tom Daly reaches.
John Ward adjusts his cap and digs in. 2 down. Runners on first and second. Here we go.
The next man up is Con Daly. 2 down, bases loaded. Cy Young takes a deep breath on the mound. Here comes Darby O'Brien to the plate. 2 down and bases loaded. Cy Young looks in for the signal. The shortstop is there, but it doesn't alter the play. Darby O'Brien is out. 1 run comes across for the Brooklyn Grooms in the bottom of the first. The score, Cleveland Spiders 0, Brooklyn Grooms 1. Now stepping in, Ed McKean. Nobody out, base is empty. George Haddock gets the sign. The next man up is Jimmy McAleer. Nobody out, runner on first. George Haddock takes a deep breath on the mound. Jimmy McAleer safe at first. The next man up is George Davis. One away, runner on first. George Haddock takes a deep breath on the mound. Chopper to the infield. The fielder is on the move. Oh no, the third baseman bobbles it. Error. Everyone moves up. George Davis reaches on the miscue. There he goes. Jimmy McAleer swipes third. Jack O'Connor approaches the plate with purpose. One away, runners on second and third. George Haddock winds up. He's retired. Cy Young batting for the Cleveland Spiders. Two down and runner on third. George Haddock on the hill for the Brooklyn Grooms. Fly out to right. One run in for the Cleveland Spiders. A productive half inning. Your scoreboard reads Cleveland Spiders 1, Brooklyn Grooms 1. The Brooklyn Grooms send Tommy Corcoran to the plate. Nobody out, bases empty. Cy Young of the Cleveland Spiders ready to deal. Chopper to the infield. The fielder is on the move. The right fielder makes a great stop. That's knocked down. Safe. Tommy Corcoran steals second. What a burst of speed. And now, George Haddock steps to bat. Nobody out. Runner on second. Cy Young on the hill. A liner finds grass. George Haddock is aboard with a single. The next man up is George Haddock. Nobody out. Runner on second. Cy Young takes a deep breath on the mound. Wild throw by the right fielder. Error. The bases are in motion. Fly out to right. Dan Brothers strides to the batter's box. One away, runner on third. Cy Young peers in at the catcher. Grounder, shortstop to first. The crowd buzzes as Oysterburn steps in. Two down and runner on third. Cy Young nods at the sign. He's retired. A run for the Brooklyn Grooms. They scratch one across in the bottom of the second. Your scoreboard reads Cleveland Spiders 1, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Here comes Cupid Charles to the plate. Nobody out and base is empty. George Haddock looks in for the signal. Jake Virtue strides to the batter's box. Nobody out. Runner on first. George Haddock peers in at the catcher. Jake Virtue is out. Here comes Jesse Burkett to the plate. One away and runner on first. George Haddock looks in for the signal. ball sneaks through. Base hit for Jesse Burkett. Chief Zimmer adjusts his cap and digs in. One away. Runners on first and third. Here we go.
Ed McKean strides to the batter's box. One away. Bases loaded. George Haddock peers in at the catcher.
He's retired. And that retires the side. A scoreless top of the third for the Cleveland Spiders. Your scoreboard reads Cleveland Spiders 1, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Griffin is the batter. Nobody out, base is empty. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Daly is the batter. Nobody out. Runner on first. Tom Daly is out. Now stepping in, John Wood. 2 down, bases empty. Cy Young gets the sign. The ball is in play, and the defense is on it. Clean fielding by the center fielder. The play stands as is. Con Daly digs in against Cy Young. 2 down, runner on second. He's retired. A clean frame for the defense. The Brooklyn Grooms go scoreless. We stand at Cleveland Spiders 1, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Here comes Jimmy McAleer to the plate. Nobody out and base is empty. George Haddock looks in for the signal. Base hit. Jimmy McAleer singles safely. The steal is on. Jimmy McAleer beats the throw to second. Here's Jack O'Connor now, stepping in to face George Haddock. Nobody out and runners on first and third. Jack O'Connor is out. Cy Young approaches the plate with purpose. 2 down, bases empty. George Haddock winds up. Cy Young is out. 1 run in for the Cleveland Spiders. A productive half inning. The score, Cleveland Spiders 2, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Darby O'Brien approaches the plate with purpose. Nobody out, base is empty. Cy Young winds up. Darby O'Brien is out. Here's Tommy Corcoran now, stepping in to face Cy Young. 1 away and bases empty. The ball sneaks through. Base hit for Tommy Corcoran. There he goes. Tommy Corcoran swipes second. Here's George Haddock now, stepping in to face Cy Young. 1 away and runner on second. George Haddock heads back. Spiders 2, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Cupid Childs digs in against George Haddock. Nobody out. Base is empty. Grounder, second baseman to first. Jake Virtue settles into the box. Bat waggling. One away, base is empty. George Haddock ready to go. A little flare over the infield. Jake Virtue singles. The crowd buzzes as Jesse Burkett steps in. One away and runner on first. George Haddock nods at the sign. A sharp grounder. The defender charges in. The right fielder drops the ball. That's a costly error, folks. Jesse Burkett reaches on the miscue. Jesse Burkett adjusts his cap and digs in. One away, runner on first. Here we go. Jesse Burkett is out. The Cleveland Spiders send Chief Zimmer to the plate. 2 down, runner on first. George Haddock of the Brooklyn Grooms ready to deal. Grounder to first. The Cleveland Spiders go quietly in the top of the 5th. No damage done. We stand at Cleveland Spiders 2, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Oyster Burns approaches the plate with purpose. Nobody out. Base is empty. Cy Young winds up. He's retired. And now Mike Griffin steps to bat. One away. Base is empty. Cy Young on the hill. Grounder. Shortstop to first. Up next, Tom Daly. 2 down and base is empty. Cy Young toes the rubber. Tom Daly is out. See you, Matt. That's You're 3 down is the story for the Brooklyn Grooms in the bottom of the 5th. Your scoreboard reads Cleveland Spiders 2, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Ed McKean settles into the box, bat waggling. Nobody out. Base is empty. George Haddock ready to go. Grounder, third baseman to first. Jimmy McAleer digs in against George Haddock. One away. Base is empty. He's retired. Now stepping in, George Davis. 2 down, base is empty. George Haddock gets the sign. The tag is applied. George Davis is out at second. Caught stealing. Ladies and gentlemen, John Ward is the batter. Nobody out. Base is empty. Ladies and gentlemen, John Ward is the batter. Nobody out. Base is empty. John Ward is out. Stepping in, Jack O'Connor. 2 down, runner on first. George Haddock gets the sign. Strike out. That's 3 up, 3 down is the story for the Cleveland Spiders in the top of the 6th. The score, Cleveland Spiders 2, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Grounder, second baseman to first. Up next, Con Daly. 1 away and bases empty. Cy Young toes the rubber. Base hit. Con Daly singles safely. Now stepping in, Darby O'Brien. 1 away, runner on first. Cy Young gets the sign. O'Brien reaches. The steal is on. Darby O'Brien beats the throw to second. Tommy Corcoran approaches the plate with purpose. 2 down, runner on second. Cy Young winds up. Tommy Corcoran is out. A goose egg for the Brooklyn Grooms. Scoreless in the bottom of the 6th. We stand at Cleveland Spiders 2, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Cy Young approaches the plate with purpose. Nobody out. Bases empty. George Haddock winds up. Cy Young is out. And now Cupid Child steps to bat. 1 away, bases empty. George Haddock on the hill. Chopper to the infield. The fielder is on the move. What a play by the second baseman. He knocks that hit down a level. Jake Virtue settles into the box, bat waggling. 1 away, runner on first. George Haddock ready to go. Grounder, third baseman to first. The side is retired. The Cleveland Spiders strand nothing and score nothing. Your scoreboard reads Cleveland Spiders 2, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Up next, George Haddock. Nobody out and bases empty. Cy Young toes the rubber. A ball to the field. Let's see if the defense can make a play. Outstanding effort by the shortstop. He limits the damage, sir. And now Dan Bruther steps to bat. Nobody out. Runner on first. Cy Young on the hill. Grounder, shortstop to first. Here comes Oyster Burns to the plate. 2 down and base is empty. Cy Young looks in for the signal. A ball to the field. Let's see if the defense can make a play. Robbed. The third baseman takes a hit away. Out. 3B unassisted. Third base, 3 outs, no runs. The Brooklyn Grooms are done in the bottom of the 7th. Your scoreboard reads Cleveland Spiders 2, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Jesse Burkett adjusts his cap and digs in. Nobody out. Base is empty. Here we go. He's He's retired. Chief Zimmer settles into the box, bat waggling. 1 away, base is empty. Georgia Haddock ready to go. Hit to the fielder. Can he handle it? A spectacular diving catch by the left fielder. That was destined for a hit. He's retired. Here's Ed McKean now, stepping in to face George Haddock. 2 down and bases empty. Ed McKean is out. Nothing doing for the Cleveland Spiders that inning. No runs in the top of the 8th. Your scoreboard reads Cleveland Spiders 2, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Here's Mike Griffin now, stepping in to face Cy Young. Nobody out, and bases empty. The ball is in play, and the defense is on it. A professional job by the second baseman. The hit stays as called. The throw is offline. Mike Griffin slides in safely at second. The next man up is Tom Daly. Nobody out. Runner on second. Cy Young takes a deep breath on the mound. He's retired. John Ward digs in against Cy Young. 1 away, runner on second.
Oh no, the third baseman bobbles it. Error. Everyone moves up.
John Ward is out. The Brooklyn Grooms send John Ward to the plate. 1 away, runner on third. Cy Young of the Cleveland Spiders ready to deal. The second baseman is there, but it doesn't alter the play. John Ward is out. Con Daly approaches the plate with purpose. 2 down, runner on third. Cy Young winds up. Ground to third baseman to first. At 3 up, 3 down is the story for the Brooklyn Grooms in the bottom of the 8th. We stand at Cleveland Spiders 2, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Now stepping in, Jimmy McAleer. Nobody out. Base is empty. Dave Fouts gets the sign. Ground to third baseman to first. George Davis adjusts his cap and digs in. 1 away, base is empty. Here we go. Fly out to center. Jack O'Connor digs in against Dave Fouts. 2 down, base is empty. He's retired. Sir, 3 up, 3 down is the story for the Cleveland Spiders in the top of the 9th. Your scoreboard reads Cleveland Spiders 2, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Darby O'Brien is out. Tommy Corcoran approaches the plate with purpose. One away, base is empty. Cy Young winds up. He's retired. Dave Fouts settles into the box, bat waggling. 2 down, base is empty. Cy Young ready to go. Dave Fouts is out. 3 up, 3 down is the story for the Brooklyn Grooms in the bottom of the 9th. We stand at Cleveland Spiders. Cy Young digs in against Dave Fouts. Nobody out, base is empty. Cy Young is out. The crowd buzzes as Cupid Child steps in. 1 away and base is empty. Dave Fouts nods at the sign. Here's Jake Virtue now, stepping in to face Dave Fouts. 1 away and runner on first. Right up the middle, Jake Virtue collects a base hit. Jake Virtue batting for the Cleveland Spiders. 1 away and runner on first. Dave Fouts on the hill for the Brooklyn Groom. Here's Jesse Burkett now, stepping in to face Dave Fouts. 1 away and runners on first and second. Chief Zimmer strides to the batter's box. 1 away, bases loaded. Dave Fouts peers in at the catcher. He's retired. A goose egg for the Cleveland Spiders. Scoreless in the top of the 10th. The score, Cleveland Spiders 2, Brooklyn Grooms 2. Dan Bruthers approaches the plate with purpose. Nobody out, base is empty. Cy Young winds up. Dan Bruthers is out. Here comes Oyster Burns to the plate. 1 away and base is empty. Cy Young looks in for the signal. Base hit. Oyster Burns singles safely. Mike Griffin settles into the box, bat waggling. 1 away, runner on first. Cy Young ready to go. Now stepping in, Tom Daly. 1 away, runners on first and second. Cy Young gets the sign. He's retired. And that retires the side. A scoreless bottom of the 10th for the Brooklyn Grooms. The score, Cleveland Spiders 2, Brooklyn Grooms 2.
Hey, I just wanted to jump on and let the viewing audience know that the game was actually called due to dark... Well, actually, hang on, it just popped up. May not have been called. Let me roll this out and see. No, it continues. I thought that was going to be an automatic call, but it's not. Okay, here we go. Oh, hang on, Pete. Okay. Sorry about that. Was not planning on getting on the mic, but it looked like we had a game called Due to Darkness. But we continue on to the 11th.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ed McKean is the batter. Nobody out. Base is empty.
Yeah, Aaron, we'll probably do the Tigers that have skip call game.
Jimmy McAleer settles into the box. Bat waggling one away. Base is empty. Dave Fouts ready to go. A ball to the field. Let's see if the defense can make a play. Terrific defense from the shortstop. The hit goes down a notch.
So try to still with him. It's got really good speed. And it's caught.
The tag is applied. Jimmy McAleer is out at second. Caught stealing. The crowd buzzes as George Davis steps in. Two down and base is empty. Dave Fouts nods at the sign. Strike out. Shut down. The Cleveland Spiders are retired in order. 0 runs that half. We stand at Cleveland Spiders 2. Brooklyn Grooms 2.
Alright, gonna have to pull Cy. Wanted to get him to win, but after 10, they've got some pretty strong pitchers out of the bullpen, though. So bringing in John Clarkson.
John Ward strides to the batter's box. Nobody out. Base is empty. John Clarkson peers in at the catcher.
Walks Ward. Ward was trying to steal.
The steal is on. John Ward beats the throw to second.
I think we'll try to bunt him over. It did not work. Out of third.
Darby O'Brien approaches the plate with purpose. One away, runner on first. John Clarkson winds up. He's retired. Nothing doing for the Brooklyn Grooms that inning. No runs in the bottom of the 11th. Your scoreboard reads Cleveland Spiders 2, Brooklyn Grooms 2.
Going to the 12th. We'll see if this game gets called due to darkness now. For some reason, it's taking the app a while to get that darkness check to come up. So apologize for the delay, but as soon as that comes up, we'll do the dice roll. Okay, here we go. Alright, so indeed, the game has been called due to darkness. We rolled a 6, plus 1 for the second darkness check. 7, the game ends in a tie. So we have a 2-2 final in 11. We will end Alright, and there you see our updated standings. I guess I need to add a tie to the standings panel. But there you have it. Some Playograph Deadball replay. That was pretty fun. Would like to do it again. Maybe get a few of the bugs worked out. And we'll run some more of those. Gonna try to do a game for Aaron with Skip Carey on the mic for the Detroit Tigers in some out of the park. So keep an eye out for that later today or possibly tomorrow. But we appreciate you joining us, and I will see you on the next baseball game.